Hi everyone, welcome to Get Indie Gaming. 2018 looks an awesome year for indie game horror fans, and in this list we'll be looking at 10 of the most hotly anticipated such games that are said to be out over the course of this year. Naturally enough, what follows contains violent scenes and flashing images which some may find disturbing. Duly warned, let's open that trapdoor. At number 10, we have Scorned. Expected to pop onto the PC in Q4, Scorned has been in development by Ebb Software since 2014. Let's face it, these visuals are certainly recognisable and are hugely influenced by Geiger and his works. With that being said, Scorned will be a horror FPS shooter set within a strange and unsettling world that seems part mechanical and part organic. It's about being a fish out of water, isolated and lost within a dreamlike world that's strange and unsettling. The game will release in 2 parts and is open plan. Players will need to pay close attention to environmental clues to avoid missing key and crucial plot points. That's a bold decision, as it lacks also any tutorials or in-game prompts. Players in a recent beta came out with mixed opinions, although given the associated launch timelines, there's plenty time still for the gameplay to match the quality of the visuals. Number 9, Blasphemous. Blasphemous is being developed by Game Kitchen, who brought us The Last Door in 2016, and is a former Kickstarter project that went on to earn over 600% of its target. Hopefully it's due out later this year. It's a 2D pixel art gothic looking affair with its roots firmly within the classics and legendary Castlevania type series, and looks to blend 2D platforming with Metroidvania-like touches within a horror-inspired aesthetic. At number 8, Close to the Sun. In Close to the Sun, from the team at the rather wonderfully named Storm in a Teacup, you'll play as Rose, a journalist looking for her sister aboard a gigantic ship created by none other than Nikola Tesla. While thus far not too much is known about the game apart from certain character and story aspects, what's clear from the trailer, the game's visuals and location styling lend themselves heavily to the first game in the BioShock series, and if this footage is anything to go by, so does the on-screen atmospherics. We loved the original BioShock game, and given how Close to the Sun looks and feels, we're hopeful the team can deliver on this premise. Close to the sun. At number 7, Moons of Madness.
Oh, seriously? Oh, come on. You can honestly sit there and tell me you believe the Stones were superior in their music to Bowie? Hold up. I seem to have a situation here.
Moons of Madness is looking to do a fair number of things. A cosmic horror game set on Mars, an upfront exploration of mental health issues, and a tough-as-nails sci-fi space simulator. You're astronaut Shane Newitt, and you're battling hallucinations as you set about trying to solve the supernatural occurrences within and around a research station on the Red Planet. From the looks of it, gameplay will feature environmental puzzles with elements of walking simulator type of activities, all wrapped up with horror-based set pieces. There's no denying how great it all looks, and hopefully the focus on how the mental health issues are tackled and displayed will come with the sensitivity and mindfulness of last year's Senua's Sacrifice. Expected out towards the end of March. Number 6, System Shock Remastered. System Shock from back in 1994 is widely regarded as being one of the most quintessential FPSs of its time, and one that inspired and gave influences to many games of its type that followed. Coming from a hugely successful Kickstarter that pulled in more than $1 million, the game is getting a complete reboot by the people at Night Dive Studios, and should land with us in the first half of the year. With a new game engine and supporting adapted levels, weapons and enemies, the story, aside from a number of dialogue and plot hole fixes, is said to be true to the original game. By adopting and using modern gaming design principles and visuals, Night Dive hope to make System Shock more accessible to modern gamers, while also having it recognisable to those like us who played the original. Very much looking forward to this one, and if like many you're new to the story, it's one to certainly keep an eye out for. Number 5. Ad Infinitum. While Ad Infinitum was announced within the summer of 2016, there's been limited updates from the Hamburg-based Strixlab team. Although this promising indie-looking horror game is likely to drop at some point this year. It's slated to be an atmospheric single-player horror game which sees you play within the World War I trench setting. You'll find yourself being haunted and hunted by various creatures as you solve puzzles to clear pathways through the trenches to avoid capture. No word yet on the full platform launch schedule, although it's certainly coming to Steam with perhaps consoles at a later date. At number 4, Visage. Inspired by other horror games, such as the experiences within PT and Alien Isolation, Visage will place players in a seemingly normal, although clearly otherwise, house where you'll use point-and-click mechanics to find the horrors of the past contained within its rooms. Boasting elaborate hallucinatory scenes, flashbacks and set pieces, the game also uses randomization, which should encourage future replays. Out later this year on the PC, PlayStation 4 and the Xbox. In third place, Hunt Showdown. Another one announced way back in 2014 and very recently having gone into its alpha testing phase, Hunt Showdown is a highly promising horror zombie shooter with PvE and PvP elements. This one comes from Crytek, the team that brought us Crysis. While expected this year in early access with a full release to follow the year after, we're compelled to list it here having seen the recent footage from the aforementioned alpha. You'll play as part of a group of bounty hunters set to rid the swamps of Louisiana of any number of horrid and ghastly creatures. You play in teams, and once the winning side has finished off the beast and having been rewarded with a bounty, every other team on the map turns their guns on the victors as they try to escape. While there's no shortage of survival games out there, Hunt Showdown looks like one of the better within the genre that's seeking to merge horror elements within it. On paper and on screen at least, this one is looking promising, and it looks capable of delivering the goods. In second place, Call of Cthulhu, the official video game.
What the hell am I doing here?
It was just a nightmare.
I was there!
Mr. Pierce, don't
Have to get back
You
there.
have to rest.
No, but the dreams, they were real.
Only time can heal
I
your
have
affliction.
to...
Call of Cthulhu, regarded by many as the greatest horror in the H.P. Lovecraft catalogue, unlike perhaps you might expect, you don't play the part of a sailor who came across Cthulhu, but rather as Edward Pierce, a former veteran and private detective from a 1920s Boston, who is investigating the strange and mysterious death of Sarah Hawkins and her family in Darkwater Island. While conducting his investigation, Pierce uncovers information that the resurrection of Cthulhu is looming. The game is set within a semi-open world and will combine investigation sections with stealth-based mechanics while staying true and honest to the key elements of Lovecraftian cosmic horror. With so many games of late paying homage to such stylings, in this one it appears we found the pick of the bunch. At number 1, Agony. Expected to launch this coming March 30th, Agony is a first-person survival horror game from the Polish-based Mad Mind studio. Set in hell, the trailers and recent gameplay footage look positively and utterly terrifying and genuinely unsettling. Agony puts you in the role as an inhabitant of hell who's able to possess other people and demons. What most impresses us with Agony is what appears to be the perfect matching of grotesque visuals, together with its soundscape that has the ability to evoke a sincere feeling of unrelenting unease and disgust that's fairly special. With the March launch soon upon us, we're delighted and brimming with nervous excitement. Might Agony be too intense for us? We'll see shortly enough. And with that, many thanks for watching. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other clips and subscribe to stay up to date with all things Get Indie Gaming.